Please click on the subscribe button so you get notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it. Now, let's talk about the AFC South, ladies and gentlemen. I got this year the Texans finishing a 13-4 or 14-3. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars going either 8-9 or 7-10. I got the Colts going 7-10 or 6-11. And I got the worst team in the National Football League being the Tennessee Titans, either going 0-17, which I think is probably unlikely, but 1-16, which I think is more than likely to happen this year. And they're going to have the number one pick next year. I think they're going to be picking Carson Beck, and then they're going to start their full rebuilding process with him next year. Let's start off with the Titans. The Titans' schedule is pretty difficult this upcoming year. They have a new coaching staff, and I think to fully embrace the rebuild, they're going to be going 0-17 or 1-16 and making sure that they get that number one pick and fully diving into that rebuild the following year. Yeah, they have DeAndre Hopkins, but that's really the only real notable name that they have out there. I'm trying to think of a secondary name that they might have on that roster, but none really come to mind. That division is harder. And I think the other teams have much better talent. Maybe they sweep the Colts, but I don't think they have enough talent in Tennessee to be able to beat the Jags and the Texans. It's one thing if Mike Vrabel was still the head coach there, because I'll give Mike Vrabel at least 3 or 4 wins just because I know his defensive mindset and I know the caliber of head coach he is. I don't know what this new head coach is going to be like for the Titans. And I don't know if Will Levis is even that guy at quarterback. So until I see something from the Titans this year, I think they're going to be an 0-17 or a 1-16 team this upcoming season. When it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the prince that was promised, I have them going 7-10 or 8-9. The reason why I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going either 7-10 or 8-9 this upcoming year is because of the fact that their schedule is tougher. And I am still waiting and seeing on Trevor Lawrence if he really is that guy. He doesn't have that much talent. Yes, he has Travis Etienne. He has Christian Kirk. I know they're making a big thing that they just added Gabe Davis, but they had Calvin Ridley last year. And I believe Calvin Ridley was a much better wide receiver than Gabe Davis. No offense to Gabe Davis. I just think that addition to Gabe Davis is way too overhyped. And yeah, they have Eric Armstead. That's my former defensive lineman. But I really think that that's really about it. I think they have 1 or 2 more players on that defensive side of the ball. But I still see their schedule being tough this year. And that's why I have them having either a 7-10 or 8-9 season. Now, when it comes to the division winners, the Houston Texans, I love me some CJ Stroud. They got Nico Collins. They got Tank Dell. They got Stephon Diggs. I think they just added Joe Mixon. Bro, that offensive side of the ball is stacked. I think they have a decent offensive line. And then they have Azir Al-Shair. He's one of our former linebackers for the San Francisco 49ers. He's a great talent. They have Will Anderson. They have Derek Stingley. They have D'Amico Ryans calling the plays for the defensive side of the ball. I believe I like what I see from the Houston Texans. I like CJ Stroud. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the AFC conference as a whole. I like the Texans. I really do like CJ Stroud. I call them 49ers South because of the amount of talent that they have on that team as a whole. So I'm excited to see what they do this upcoming season, and I have them finishing with a 13-4 or 14-3 record. I forgot to give you guys my take on the Indianapolis Colts down in the AFC South. The reason why I have them going 7-10 or 6-11 is because I believe Anthony Richardson is going to go through his growing pains. They have a deep quarterback room with Joe Flacco and Sam Ehlinger, who have now been a part of the league for years. And yes, he sat behind Gardner Minshew, learning how to develop into a NFL caliber quarterback. But Joe Flacco is a former Super Bowl champion. He had a tremendous year last year with the Cleveland Browns. He didn't make any noise in the playoffs, and he reverted back to being Joe Flacco. But having his brain, his wisdom, just so Anthony Richardson can pick off somebody is a great addition to that quarterback room. And I genuinely believe he has the potential of actually doing something similar to what Lamar Jackson is doing with the Baltimore Ravens. His style of play definitely needs to change. He can't be as physical. If he continues with that physicality and if he doesn't learn how to slide, he's only going to be an injury-prone quarterback similar to RG3. And he gives me the vibes of the Trey Lance situation that we went through, where Trey Lance was very injury prone early on. When he finally got onto the field, got an opportunity to start, he got hurt the first time in his rookie year, and then he got hurt again the second time when he was named the full-time starter. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Anthony Richardson, but they were also very similar because of the amount of football that Trey Lance played. I think Anthony Richardson played more games than Trey Lance, or at least is coming off a consistent year in college where he played an entire college football season. Trey, because of the COVID year, everything was put up in the air. So I believe Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts will have their growing pains this year. I like the addition of Sammy Womack to the cornerback room. Samson Ibukam is still recovering. You guys still got DeForest Buckner. They have a good defense, in my opinion, that's still young and developing, with a young quarterback that's also young and developing, who can hopefully develop into being that next great Indianapolis Colts quarterback. So that's why I got them going 7-11 or 6-10 this year. Guys, have you heard? Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.